Politics on Motor City Woman Radio. Follow Rocky's Reality. Welcome to Rocky's Reality. Get ready for unfiltered and unapologetic culture, entertainment, relationships, and a little bit of politics on Motor City Woman Radio. Follow Rocky's Reality on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. In the meantime, let's go. Happy Black Music Month, everyone. Welcome to Rocky's Reality. And welcome to my esteemed guest. I'm not even going to waste time because we time is of essence, and we need to get as much information as possible tonight. So welcome everyone, and welcome to my guest, Daryl Simmons, Grammy Award-winning songwriter, producer, music extraordinaire, music consultant now, right? Producer,
a little bit.
A little bit, huh?
A little bit.
Because I said, I know he's going to keep making music. I hope he does.
Mm.
Living legend, luminary, titan, just paragon. I just want to give you your flowers.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll take them.
Now, is it okay if I say Daryl, or do we have to do Mr. Simmons?
Oh no, Daryl.
Okay, good. Okay, because I'm old school. I was raised right, so I had to.
I'm old school. I'm old school too.
I asked to get your permission. I said, "Is it okay if I call him Daryl?" So, welcome, Daryl. And
Thank
again,
you.
I just want to give you your flowers for what you've done for the industry and what you've done for our culture, for our community, for our people, because your music has pretty much shaped who we are, how we love, how we live, how we laugh. Some major moments from our life. Like seriously, when I was looking through your discography, I was just like in awe of the many moments that your music has been there. I'm 46 years old, and like 90s music was when I was going through high school, college.
Yeah.
And as we know, those are some like big major years in your life, right? You're getting out of high school, you know, you're learning that you're, like your granddaddy said, fat meat is greasy and water is wet. So I just want to thank you and just start off with just, do you at times just sit back and awe and wonder like, oh my gosh, look at what I've done? How your music to this day still resonates with people in 2023.
Nah, I don't do that.
You don't do that?
Nah, I appreciate it. I appreciate the love and the acknowledgement of the work that we did. And I always say we because Kenny we've been songwriting partners for 50 years. So I always say we, not me. So yeah, I'm grateful, and I appreciate the love that our music still gets today. I am amazed at that sometimes. Some of the things that people will send me something of people singing "Can We Talk" or something. I've been, wow, these kids weren't even born when the song came out.
And that is exactly what I love. That my children are 19 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
And they listen to SWV. They listen to Tevin. Actually, I just did Tevin at karaoke around
Cool.
2022.
Cool.
It's still, and as you obviously saw the Can We Talk challenge during the
Yeah,
quarantine.
absolutely. Yeah, that was amazing.
Still,
I'm blown away at that kind of stuff like that. So yeah.
So that's what I love, that, and that's the beauty of music, how it just
I agree. It stays.
And it just follows us. So
Absolutely.
I really appreciate that.
But thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely, you're welcome. So let me go back a little bit.
Okay.
When I discovered who you were, I was like, okay, he's like the behind the scenes Swingali here. Please go back. Let's take it way back. Please go back to the moment when you met. You call him Kenny. Is he still there? I see.
Yeah, something happened here.
Yeah. He's here, but the video's gone.
Yeah, the video's not. I don't know what happened.
Okay, let's try to.
I can hear you, but I don't know what I need to do because I'm not tech savvy. So you guys may have to help me here.
Okay, hold on. Let's get it fixed. Okay, it's on your cell phone?
Yes, I'm on my phone. Yeah.
Okay. Do you see the button where it has like the camera or like the camcorder part? Can you hit that and maybe hit it and see if it's on? Is there a part of your screen?
Yeah, it's not a part of my screen. may have to re-sign in with you,
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
possibly. Apologize to everybody. Let's see
No, that's
here.
fine. And we know, and that's part of this business too. We have tech issues. So let's
Yeah,
have you
so I'm
just
gonna hit the link again.
everybody stand by
Yeah,
as
I hit the link.
everybody stand by. Look, that's the part of it, right? It's always something. So I appreciate everyone for joining Rocky's Reality. Because we gon' yep. Oh, there it is. See? And
Am
that's
I
what you
back? Am I
yep,
back?
there you go. There you go.
Okay. Sorry. I think it's my phone today. My phone was jittering. There it goes again.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been doing that today. I don't know what that is. That's crazy.
Does it need a there it is.
Yeah, no, I see myself, but then I know it's doing something crazy. So I
Okay.
apologize.
Well,
Yeah.
we just gonna work through it, Daryl, and the devil is trying to see the devil know when you doing something magnificent. That's what it is.
I
But he
got
not
you.
gonna stop the show. So we gonna get to it though.
Okay,
Uh,
cool.
my first question is, I wanted to go back to the first moment, because obviously you're calling him Kenny. We still say Babyface because we
Yeah, I
obviously
can't
love
call him
him.
that.
He's your right. He's your brother. He's pretty much
Yeah.
your brother. Y'all been knowing each other since high school. Can you go
Yep,
back to
absolutely.
that moment you met him and describe it and kind of just
Uh, I was a short version. I was actually in a band with his brother. He had a brother named Michael. Can you guys hear me?
yep and can see
Okay.
you.
I
Yep.
was in a band with his older brother, Michael, who played guitar, and our band only played instrumentals. And I had heard that Kenny could sing. I heard about him, but I never met him. And I would say to Michael, I said, "Why don't we get your brother to sing?" He goes, "No, we don't need him. We don't need a singer." He was kind of like hating on him.
Sibling
So
rivalry. That's that
yeah,
sibling rivalry.
yeah, exactly. So one day after we practiced, I was tearing down my drums, and up walks these two guys, and he goes, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "I'm Kenny." I go, "Oh, I've heard about you. I'm in a band with your brother." And he goes, "Yeah." So he was vibed out. He already kind of looked like a star. He was carrying his guitar. And I said, "Wow." He said, "You should come join our band because you're kind of more like us." And I go, "Yeah, I kind of am." So
Mm.
I quit that band with his brother
Uh-oh.
and
Was his
joined
brother mad at
him. Probably so, but I didn't care.
you? Oh
And
my
see,
god.
his brother and the guys I played with were older,
Okay.
so I felt, I mean, we instantly clicked. That's what it was. And he
Mm,
said, "You should come play drums for us."
mhm.
And so from that day, he was 14, I was 15. And from that day, we just linked and connected and started writing songs and dreaming and you name it. And yeah, but I was pretty in awe of him. It's a moment of, like I say, I thought I had a little bit of talent. I thought I had a little, but when I met him, I was like, that guy's talented. He's
Yeah.
really talented. I identified that he was very talented at a young age. I could see that, you know.
And I love it. And you are, but you obviously complement each other. You obviously complement each other because, like you said, you meshed and you
Yeah,
pretty
we
much
meshed.
you all have created. And so let me run down for people right quick to put people in
Hmm.
the frame of mind of how the magnificence that we have, y'all. I don't think y'all a lot of people, my viewers, I need y'all to understand. And a lot of people did actually, because when they found out you were on the show, they're like, you go have Daryl Simmons. I'm like, yes. I love it. So I mean, people I don't think they understand the magnitude of what you've contributed. Some of and when I
Yeah, a lot of people don't, but that's okay because that's been my role.
was
Like, I'll ask you a question. Name me three Elton John songs that Elton has written. I'll name them for you. Yellow Brick Road, Candle in the Wind, Philadelphia Freedom. Okay, those are songs that Elton wrote, right? Do you know who co-wrote those songs with Elton?
I believe you because he's one of the people you work with.
No,
No, not
no. His lifelong songwriting partner is a guy named Bernie Taupin
you.
that
Wow.
people don't know. So
Wow.
if you look at Elton John's songs, you'll see Elton John and Bernie Taupin. Bernie wrote the lyrics and brought them to Elton and said, "These need music." But most people know that it's Elton John. So I say that I'm like the black Bernie Taupin. People know that Babyface wrote "Can We Talk?" Babyface wrote "End of the Road." Babyface wrote "Rock with You." Babyface wrote My." But there's another name there, and that's my name. I co-wrote those songs with Kenny. So I
Yeah.
call myself
So
like
how
the
did
Black Bernie Taupin, and I'm okay with that because that's my role. You know what I
right, you're the
mean?
silent partner. So is that why
I'm
you
the silent
call
partner.
it Silent
Absolutely,
Partner Productions? And I bet
absolutely.
you probably sometimes like being anonymous too, so you don't have
I
to deal with
chose to
all
be that way.
the foolishness
I
sometimes
chose to be
because
that way. We were at an event in LA when we lived there, and this guy met me, and he goes, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm Daryl Simmons." He goes, "Oh, you're D. Simmons. You're the silent partner." He said, "We see your name, but we never see you. We see LA and Babyface." I said, "Yep, I'm the silent partner," and that's how I got my name, and I kept it. I said, "Okay, that's a pretty good name. I'll take
yeah,
that name."
I
Yeah.
love that.
So that's been my role, and I've been good with it. I've been comfortable with it, and I never wanted to be an artist. I live my artistry vicariously through Kenny. So, it's I got the best of both worlds.
I love that you can be behind the scenes, but
There you
also
go.
contribute to it. So how did you all? Because I also, with me being 46, I remember the deal. So this
Yeah,
is why I'm so excited because the evolution of you all working together. So talk about what parts do you all bring to each other? Because we all know that's how when we have a team member, we're like, he does this part, he does this role, and I play this role. So usually, is it like you can do the bridge? He brings how
it
do you
could be. It could
all
be
come together to make a song? Like how did
when Kenny and I write. Kenny always has an idea. Kenny always has that. He'll go, "I got some ideas,"
okay,
and I'll go, "Okay," and I'll sit back in the chair just like this, and he'll run down the ideas, and I'll go, "Eh." I'll go, "I like that." I'll play another one, and I'll go, "That's a record. We should work on that." He goes, "Okay." And then we'll start in with one of his ideas. He always has a melody because he's the king of melody. He goes, "This is what I'm thinking." And I go, "Okay." And so I kind of lock in to where he's going. So I'm a co pilot. I'm just going to sit back, feel him out, see where he's going, and then help connect the dots. And then
so
once
how
the
do you all
dots,
do when you clash though? How's it has it been talk tell me a little backstory of a song where you all really had to go through some changes to like, oh, I wanted it to be this way, but
we
and
don't work that way. We
okay,
don't work that way. We have harmony. We've
okay.
never worked
So
that
you
way.
always have
We
agreed, like this is
we
how she
we we read each other. Kenny says that I can just be sitting in the room and not say anything, and he'll think of something. And he knows if he thinks of something, I'm going to come back with something. And so that's the chemistry that we have. We don't butt heads like, "Well, I don't like that lyric." Goes, he'll go,
goes.
"What'd you say?" And I go, "Oh, I said this." He goes, "I thought you said that." I go, "No, I didn't say that, but I love that."
Okay.
You
So who
know,
actually
uh,
writes the actual words? Is
we
it do
both do.
you
We
both
both will
do
write
and it's
lyrics.
like,
My
okay,
my contribution with Kenny is always lyrical. Every now and then I'll have a melody, but it's usually lyrical. I feel the melody where he's going, and then he may have a couple of lyrics. I may add a couple of lyrics. He may say, "What'd you say?" And I said this. He goes, "Oh, I like that." Or he'll say, "I like it, but let's make it more clever. Let's make it clearer." And I go, "Okay." So we work in harmony. We don't argue. We don't butt heads. We're both trying to achieve the same thing. We're on the same path, and he's the pilot, and I'm the co-pilot.
I love
He's Batman, and I'm Robin.
no, I love that.
Which I say everybody knows Kenny's fine by himself. He's done wonderful things by himself. And I've done some things by myself, but together, that's how we work. Kenny always has an idea, always has a wonderful melody, and as soon as I hear it, I can go, "Yeah, that's a record." I don't know what the lyric is going to be, but when I hear the melody, he'll say, "Yeah, got something that's, you know,
I love it. Yeah.
and that's where we'll go
It's
with it.
everlasting.
You
I
know,
love it, and I'm glad you did that, Daryl, because I think your phone doing that thing again.
yeah, I'm gonna try to get you back.
Okay, I'm glad you. Well,
Sorry about that,
I get it. It's
but you can still hear me, right?
yeah, I can, and I'm glad. I was saying I'm glad you did that. Um, can we talk right quick because my engineer and I were. I wanted to play a few things on air, and he reminded me like, "Oh, with copyright, you're not going to be able to." So I'm glad you
Oh,
did
really?
that. So
Okay.
I appreciate how you all compliment each other. I appreciate that. Oh, we'll probably have to have him rejoin. Yeah. So thank you to everyone who's watching. Hey Monique, Mikhail Pine. Hey Ben Franklin. Peace and blessings to you. Hey Karen Reynolds. Yep. Obviously they have a mutual love. Hey Daryl. Thank you. You back.
So
True respect and
yeah, so
admiration.
that's kind of how
Yeah.
it works. He's always got a melody, and then it's like he'll say, "What is it saying? What is it saying? What is it
Right.
trying to
Okay.
say?" And we'll just both sit there and feel, okay, what is it saying to us? And then Kenny may say, you know, talk for a minute. Da, 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 your name. Da, da, da. And it's like, okay, can we talk? Okay, well, what is he saying? Why is he saying can we talk?
Right, and then you had to make
Okay,
it age appropriate too, because he was a
yes,
little
age
young
appropriate.
when
We
he was.
already knew
And
that.
this
So we
is what I
already
wanted
knew
to
that.
ask though, Daryl. How do you all write for a woman? Because Superwoman, how you know what a woman going through? Did you have a mother influence? Because how would you know when she says she in the morning when I'm making breakfast? Make sure
Well,
your turkey and your
right.
sausage and I
Yep.
mean, how did you know?
It's just you kind of you try to put yourself in their shoes. You can't totally, but you try to flip it and put yourself like, okay, how would a woman feel? How would a woman say this? And that's kind of how, because I mean, for a while there, a lot of our biggest records were female records,
But did you have
you
that's
know?
what I said, did you have women in your life who influenced you, like a mom, a aunt, a cousin, a lady up the street, a teacher?
Not, I
Any
can't
muses
say
or
that I did for songs. I think maybe we had some friends, maybe we were around some relationships on the peripheral, and we saw maybe some women being damaged or not being treated right. And we just used that as an influence, you
okay,
know?
because I remember you
Um,
were saying the lady from My Mind, that was like you all lived in this apartment,
yeah.
and it was like
Uh-huh.
a chick who you would see.
Chick, come and go, never knew her name, never met her. And from the back, she was a 10. From the front, she was
She
like
wore
a
a red
4.
dress. Did she wear a red dress?
No,
Or
but she had big red lipstick and her hair was down.
okay, and you
And
just
that's
imagined
how the influence. And we would see her from the back because she was a 10, and we would go, my. But from the front, she was like a 3.
her. Oh,
And so
oh,
that was
oh,
our little
shit.
inside joke. But
Oh,
when we would see her, we would stop and go, there she is, man. My.
oh Lord,
And
with the
you
from the
know,
back.
and
Oh
so
my
that's, we just used her hair down, and she had red lipstick, put on your lipstick, let all your hair down. And the rest we just kind of embellished the story, and you
God.
know, but she was the influence. And to this day, that girl doesn't know that she was the influence of this record,
Right, because
and
she
we never met her.
that's timeless. And that's what
Yeah.
I was wondering, like, what are some muses? And then I loved um one of my favorites as well, SWV. Um, when she explained, Coco explained that her favorite song is You Are My Love and how you pushed
Hmm.
her to keep going
Yeah.
in the studio. As a producer, how do you know that the artist can keep going? And how do you know when it's like, okay, they've had enough?
You just know every singer is different. I pushed her because I knew she could be pushed. I let her sing the whole song down because I knew she could sing the whole song down. And some artists, they can't do that. So you have to identify that and say, okay, let's take a verse at a time. Let's take a line at a time. Okay, now we're done with verse 1. Let's go to verse 2. Okay, let's go to the hook.
Mm,
That you just have to know. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody works differently. And Coco's one of those singers who can sing from the beginning to the end and give it to you.
mm,
A lot of artists, and they're good artists that sing really well,
mhm.
that don't do that. Then that's okay. It's just it's like having a different player on the bench that gives you different things, and you
Mm,
identify what that person gives you. And so when you go in, I already know how she sings. So I said, hey, sing it for me. Okay, sing it again. She's like, really? I said, yeah, sing it again. Because I
okay.
know in those takes, one of those takes is going to be the take.
Hmm.
And I know she can keep singing it. But somebody else, I wouldn't push like that because I know that they're not capable of doing that, and it's not fair to them. So
Oh,
that's what you have to identify as a producer. Every artist is different. You can't have the same approach with every artist when you go in.
I
You
love it. And
know,
that's what Karen Reynolds was asking. How do you coach the artist to sing these songs? How do they prep the artist? Like someone like Monica, she's another
uh-huh. You sing the
um
demo. Kenny will sing the demo. Sometimes I'll sing the demo, and we let them live with it overnight and say, okay, come back tomorrow. I don't want you looking at the lyrics, and let's get it done. And so that's usually our way. Is Kenny will sing a demo, or I'll sing it. Who it doesn't matter, just so that they understand the melody. We want
mhm.
them to know it, but then we want them to put themselves in it,
But they
and
can't look
that's
at the lyrics, you said. You
and
said
we
they
have them there for reference. But I'd love for
can't
people to be able to close their eyes
and
and
feel
sing
it.
it instead of looking at a lyric sheet and getting,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Let it flow. So let it flow.
Let it flow
Let it flow
naturally. You
through
may sing a wrong lyric, but that's okay. But we want them to give us something of them. Take it from where we wrote it to here. Give us something that we didn't think of. That's what we're looking for,
there.
in an artist when they sing. So yeah, Coco, that's actually one of my favorite songs. And it's not a hit. It was just an album cut.
Yeah,
But
okay, let's talk about B-sides. Let's talk about B-sides. That and also how do you know let me ask this. What's something that you were surprised it was a hit? You thought you didn't think it was going to be a hit and it was like a surprise. You were just kind of piddling around and put it out there and then it became a hit and you're like, "Damn, I didn't even think that not that
that's
you
it's
don't believe in it, but just that
that's
you
hard because most of the things that we worked on, we could identify if they weren't going to work. And Kenny would scrap it and
mm,
say, let's write
okay,
something new. Now, there have been songs that were bigger than I thought they were going to be. That's happened. Like
okay.
Tony's first album, I think I said she'd sell 1.2. And
Mm,
I think Kenny or LA may have said, no, she's going to sell 2 million. And I go, I don't think so. She sold like, I don't know, 9 million.
right, of
So
that.
that was surprising to me.
So did
You
you
know what
do
I mean?
which ones did you do on there? Was it
Another Sad Love
love
Song,
song?
You Mean
Okay.
the World to Me, which is my favorite
Oh,
song
yeah, that was
of
my
all time. That's my number one favorite song, You Mean the World to Me.
yes, that's one of my
What else did we do?
favorites.
We did Breathe Again, 7 Whole Days. What else?
7 whole days.
A
When I was in
lot of
10th
songs
grade.
on there. Make
Woo,
me feel
child,
old to the
7 whole
core.
days and was singing
Yeah,
it
it's a
like
bad
I
song.
knew. 15 years old.
Yeah. So there have been surprises that, like End of the Road, like we knew it was a hit. Like I knew it was a hit. Like Kenny knew it was a hit and he wanted to keep it. He didn't want to give it to Boys to Men. And so we were like, well, we need it for the soundtrack. He goes, yeah, but let me try it because I may want to keep it. And we were like, what the hell? And so we went in the studio and I think he sang a verse and a hook. He said, okay, they can have it. And so they recorded it and we all went to Philadelphia. And I just remember just when Wanye was singing, I mean, I was getting chill bumps. This dude he was ripping it.
Right,
I
because
mean,
he was at the end.
oh,
He was like, nah. I mean, he sounded like he was
oh, and
pleading
because when we
for his
got there,
life.
and the
I,
story was when we got there, they said Wanye can't sing. And we were like, why can't he sing? Because he's lost his voice
uh-oh.
rehearsing for the tour,
Uh-oh.
you
Uh-oh.
know.
Get the lemon and
And
honey.
so yeah, so I think LA said, well, he said Wanye says the only way I can sing it is if I sing it really loud and stand back from the mic. And we were like, okay, well, stand your ass back because we got to get this vocal because we got to finish the soundtrack. And he stood in the back and he had a towel on his throat and he was rocking. And if in the end of the song, he
Just
says,
like in
"Oh
the
my
video.
God, help me out a little bit, baby." His voice was so raw.
He was
And
literally saying, help me, God. Help me
yeah,
get
he said it. If you
this
listen to the
note out.
lyric now, when you go listen to it, you'll hear what I'm talking about. And even now, I got chill bumps thinking about that lyric. I said, "Oh, we got to keep that part." Because he was just, I felt bad that we were killing this dude's
Yes.
voice.
And
But
now
the
that I'm
pain
yeah.
came through on the record.
That adds a lot to the song. That adds a lot
Yeah,
now because I always used to think like,
absolutely.
damn, why ain't sound like he is
Because
really
his
going
voice was
through it?
gone, and I don't know, he didn't sing it down that many times either because he didn't have a voice, and
When
so
you
he
say sing
pushed
it
it out.
down, what do you mean by that? Sing it down.
Start from the
Explain.
top, start
Okay.
from the top, and sing it. Let us try to
Okay.
get it.
And
Let
so
us try to
okay.
get it. And
So
he
how
was
do
one of those
you yeah.
singers. I'm
So all
sorry.
these years, how have you come to know like what it is about an artist that makes them the depth of their talent? Like, what lets you know they're the one to bring a certain song? Because you said he didn't want that for Boyz II Men, and then he sung it and changed his
Because
mind.
he said he said it'll be way bigger on them than me,
Okay, but how do you
and
know
we
that about
agree.
a particular
He
artist?
just knows.
Do you have an artist
You
in that
just know.
mind, or is it as you're writing it, you're
Just-
like, "Oh, this will be good for this artist"?
yeah, you just kind of know. You know, it's
Hmm.
you just kind of know, and sometimes you can miss, but I don't know. It's just I think that's what the producer's gift is you have to be able to identify the artist, what their capability is, and then what you're matching them with. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like I'm sure Jam and Lewis will tell you that they knew if Janet sings this song, if she sings Control, if she sings What Have I Done For You Lately like this is going to work. And that's something that they knew that she didn't know, that they're saying, trust me, just sing this like this.
Mm.
Trust me. And I've said that a lot. I'm like, trust me. Like Tony Braxton will say, are you sure? I go, yeah. And she'll say, okay, if you like it, I love it. I said, I like it.
And see,
And she'll
that's
trust
the
me and
beauty
she'll
of
trust us
it.
and
Right.
she'll trust us to guide her to say, this is what we think you should do. And then they don't really realize what they're bringing to it. They're bringing themselves and taking it to a whole nother level because then they've made it theirs. Now it's turned into something really crazy.
Mhm.
You know, we knew it was a hit record, but when Boys to Men sang the doo doo out of it like they did, hell, you couldn't have never told me that thing was going to stay at number one for
Right.
13 weeks.
Listen.
That thing stayed at
And
number
when
one
it
for
won the
13
Grammy.
weeks.
And
Yeah,
won the Grammy.
and I heard people saying, "I'm so sick of that song."
So what?
I
No,
was like,
no.
"Thank you." I was like, "Thank you." So that's the unknown. You can feel good about it, but you don't really know. You can say, "Yep, you know what? I think this is a smash," but you don't really know what it's really going to do. You just feel good about it and you let it go because you have to let it go at some point and go. You know what? I think we're good. I
Wait a minute,
think we
and
got
I
one.
want to ask that too, Daryl. Is there some song that you've put out and you like, "Oh, I wish I would have did this differently"?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Because that's what we do. You make sure you have checked every box, you dot the I's, cross the T's. I mean, we went over budget so many times because we always wanted to make sure it was right before we let it go. Because once you let it go, you can't pull it back.
Right.
Once
That's
it's out
right.
in the universe, you have to love it because you don't want to hear it on the radio and go, oh, I wish I had done.
Yeah, it's too
That
late.
I hear in my day when I go run my errands or whatever, I may hear three of our songs on because I listen to 80s and I listen to satellite
Right.
radio. And there's not a song that I hear, I go, you know what, that's a good record. I'll hear Fairweather Friend, like, damn, that record sounds good. You
Yes.
know, I'll
Yes.
say, damn, that's a good record. And I feel good about what we did today, 30 whatever
You
years
should,
ago.
and
And
that's
that's how you have to. You have to, like I said, when you're done, you have to say, okay, that's it. And I've checked. Now you have no control what happens, but you at least yourself have to say, I put everything into this. I believe in it and I think it's good. So okay, it's done. Because you don't want to regret. You can't
right. No,
because you
not
can't
at
do anything
all.
about it,
So
you know?
who are some new artists that you like, Daryl? And let's talk a little bit about the evolution of R&B. I'm one of those people. I know R&B has evolved, but it's definitely not dead. Some people don't.
Oh yeah.
There's really a lot of underrated talent out here. So, who are
Hmm.
some of the newer artists that you're digging and that you would like to work with?
I don't know a lot of the new artists. I'm kind of removed. I know what I like, what I hear.
Mhm.
I mean, I like her. I like The Weeknd. Um, it's I don't know all of the R&B people that are, I don't claim to have my finger on the pulse. I just know what I like. I'll hear a record, not even know who it is sometimes,
Mhm.
but I like the record. So I just like what I like. You know what I mean? But I don't have a finger on the pulse of it anymore. I just like the artists that I like when I hear a really good song. So you know what? That's a good record. That's a good song. But I don't get that deep. And I'm not trying to work with those people.
Mm. So, is there artists
I'm
like
kind of
that?
done.
Is there someone on your bucket list so are you done
Mm-mm.
at this point? That's why I asked.
Hmm.
So, what are you doing now currently? Are you just music consulting? And I know
I
you have to.
get up, I ride my bike with my bike group. We rode 30 miles the other day. This morning I got up, I took a 3-mile run. Uh, I do what I want to do. Sometimes I sit at the piano. Sometimes.
Love it. Right. Do you have a bae
That's
though?
it.
Daryl? I have to ask for.
Do I have a what?
Do you have a bae, a lady friend, a friend? I mean, are you single? I just have to ask for. I remind.
I don't comment about my personal life. I don't answer
Okay.
those questions. You know,
Okay.
I'm just I keep it music.
Fair
Keep it
enough.
music.
Fair enough.
We keep it
Fair enough.
musical. Keep the
Fair.
private life private.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair
But
enough.
that's it. I don't have anything on the horizons. I did a Christmas album this past Christmas that I'm
Oh,
really
yep.
proud of.
Christmas with you, correct?
Christmas with You. I had never done a whole album as a producer.
Yes, that's what I wanted to ask
So
you. Yeah.
I always admired Kenny for doing Exhale, and I know it was a lot of work, and he did an amazing job. And I said, wow, I wish I could do that one day. So this was my opportunity to produce and write all the songs and produce myself. So it was a lot of fun to do that, and I'm really proud of it.
I love
Yep.
it. So, and I'm
Yep.
hearing that that's your first debut album, your debut album, pretty much as an artist, correct?
I guess I'm the
Period. After all these years.
it's sort of like a generic Quincy Jones album. you
But so,
know how
but no, it
Quincy Jones
sounded good.
did back Secret
Back on,
Garden with Barry White and had and I
back
would
on the
use all the
block.
people. So I had my own guests, people that have sung on my records, and I brought them in to sing the songs that I wrote. And so it was kind of like my generic Quincy Jones moment.
I love that. I love that.
But
And
no comparison to Quincy at all.
okay.
So,
Well, I
he's the
mean,
greatest.
still,
So
you're a legend. You all, and you reminded me of that album my mom had of his called The Duke. He had the album called The Duke, a
yeah,
song called The Duke.
yeah,
So I
absolutely.
mean,
Yeah,
just
he's the dude. He's the man.
the dude. That's right. The dude. I'm just saying
He
the
is the man. He is the GOAT.
dude. Absolutely. So
For
is that
sure.
yeah? Is that someone you admired? Yeah. Who were some of your
Oh,
people you
absolutely. Quincy Jones, I got to meet him. Tevin was on Quest.
admired?
So when we did Can We
Exactly.
Talk in Los Angeles, and Kenny goes, Quincy's going to come by and hear the song. And I'm going, Quincy? He goes, yeah. Yeah, you never met him, right? I'm going,
The
no.
Quincy Jones.
Yeah, so Quincy Jones walks in and we play the record. Can We Talk? And he loves it. Great job. I love it. And then he just starts talking. He starts talking from Count Basie to Frank Sinatra to Michael Jackson to Lena Horne to, he's done it all. And I'm just standing there like,
In
I
awe.
mean, I don't think I asked one question. I just listened to him talk about all these wonderful stories and
I
experiences.
bet.
And it was amazing to meet him. I was so in awe
I bet you were.
to meet him. It was one of the highlights of my career was meeting him, because
I love it.
he is amazing. He has
Absolutely.
done, wow, just amazing to
Right.
me.
And
Absolutely.
special natural folk poetry and art says special thanks to Daryl for all those gifts of music. You wrote some of my favorite jams. Yes, he did. Absolutely. And let me run down a little bit of the discography because you wrote several of my B-side jams that I love. That
Okay, what B-sides? I'd like to
skate,
know.
work me slow.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
that should have been on the radio. That should have been
Yeah.
that should have been
Yeah.
on the radio. And also, do you want to? Like
Do you
it,
want
it
to
did,
play it a lot? It
but
played
it
a
should
lot.
have gotten more. It should have been more of um a hit
Yeah.
for me because it was.
Yeah, I
I
agree
just
with that one. I
and I
did
love
like that
on our
record. I thought it
own.
was a good record.
Bobby
Mhm.
Brown's on our own. I love how that put him in front of a different audience in a sense with him being on
Yeah,
that
that was a fun record.
soundtrack.
That was fun. That was fun to do. That's one of my. I love that song too. That's a fun record. That's a good record. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, let's
Hmm.
talk about some of your favorites, and then I do want to come back to your Christmas album as well. Well, first, let me do this. I want to ask. Let's come back to the Christmas album, and then we'll ask about some of your favorites because I'm sure you have
Okay,
some
that's fine.
your favorites. Christmas album. What made you decide to do a Christmas album as your debut album, Daryl?
Well, my debut and my only album that I'll ever do, because I love Christmas music. I
Okay.
grew up loving Christmas music. I love Christmas, my favorite holiday.
Oh,
So
okay.
about maybe 7 years ago, I'll sit at the piano and my kids will go, hey, Dad, you got to learn the Christmas songs so you can play them. So I would learn a few standard songs and play them. But in my playing those songs, I would come across some chords on my own. And I was like, that might be a nice Christmas idea. So over the last 5 or 6 years, I started tucking these ideas away. And then I said, you know what? I think I'll do like a Quincy Jones kind of thing and just do some Christmas songs and invite some people to sing them. So it's just some songs that I compiled over the last 5 years, and wrote some new ones, co-wrote some with a guy named Mario Alexander who lives here, great musician. And I just eventually just had enough songs to do an album. Now, my first thought was, I said, okay, I'm going to use all my favors and call all my friends that I've worked with. I'm going to call Tony Braxton, Tevin
Right.
Campbell. I'm going to
Right.
call Kenny, After Seven, Kenny Lattimore. I'm going to call Coco. I said, I'll get all these people to sing the songs. And my daughter says, Daddy, that'll take you 50 years to get done. Because he said, with all
I coordinate all those schedules.
their schedules,
Yeah.
egos,
Yeah.
having to
Ooh,
fly
ooh,
them in, put them
ooh.
up.
The egos. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I am saying it. I ain't say who. I
Ooh,
didn't say
ooh.
who.
You being truthful now.
I'm
You
being
being
truthful.
truthful.
So, my daughter said, "No, Daddy, just do it the other way, like you thought of." I said, "Yeah," and it was easier. All the people lived in Atlanta. They were happy, and it gave people shine. They never got a chance to shine. They've sung a lot of my backgrounds.
Mm,
One girl named Tanya Smith, she sung on Aretha Franklin, Tamia,
mm,
Deborah Cox. So she got a chance to sing lead on a song. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? And some other guys that have sung background gave them the opportunity to shine on an album where they normally maybe wouldn't have gotten a chance. So I liked it better the way that I did it, you know, because I've done Christmas music with Tony, and, so I just didn't think
I
it
like
would
that,
be
Tony.
as
That
special.
Snowflakes. Did you do that Snowflakes album?
I did 2 songs on
Yes, I
there.
like that,
Uh-huh.
Tony.
Actually,
Because
one of my favorite songs, Christmas Time Is Here. I
yeah,
did with her. It's one of my favorite
I
songs.
like that. Because I don't. She
Mhm.
has. I don't know how many. I know she has at
Good
least one
album.
Christmas album. Does she has?
Yeah, she has that one. And
Okay,
she
that's
did,
it.
and
And
then
I
she
like that.
sang on the LaFace Christmas album. She had
Yeah,
a couple of songs on that, but I love that song. We had a good time doing that. That was I actually I really love the records that we did on there.
I love that.
So I just always loved doing Christmas music. So I said, okay, that's a good way for me to do an album. And so that's my only album. That's it.
You that's
I'm
okay.
not doing anymore.
Daryl. You don't think you're gonna do a sophomore album? No,
No,
you.
no, 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 I'm
No.
done. No, that's it. Yeah.
So wait a minute. I
No.
want to ask a little bit. Let's get back to you said something about egos. What
Hmm.
give me some insight about
When I
that.
say ego,
What is
I
that
don't
like
mean
dealing
it.
with as a producer? How have
No,
you
no, no.
dealt
When I
with
say,
it?
listen, when I say ego, I don't mean it in a sense that someone is difficult. I mean
Okay.
that every artist has particular things that they like, certain way to do things. You know what I mean? And so you have to be accommodating as a producer.
Right. Okay.
You have to cater to that. You gotta make them comfortable. You know what I
Right. Yeah.
mean?
And how do you do that? Like,
So
how do you get to under? Because I know working with Tony, that's you get used to working with certain people. How do you
mhm.
adjust and shift? And because everybody has a different style, and you might get used to one artist, and so how do you transition between different artists and what they and accommodating what they like?
You just know. I actually find out. I'll tell my assistants, say, hey, find out what they like to drink, what they like to eat. How do they like this or whatever. So when they come in, they're like, oh, you have this? Oh yeah, we found out. I'll find out what they like, what they don't like, because I want them to be as comfortable as they can. I want them to feel at home. So I'll do my homework and say, okay, what do they like?
Mm,
How do they like the lighting? How do they like to do what they do? And try to make them comfortable. Like I said, every artist is different. You have to treat every artist differently, you know, and, sometimes it's on the fly. You figure it out just kind of on the fly, what they like, what they don't like. So, okay, she don't like that. Okay, let's not do that,
right.
you know?
Because you don't want the because when they are not relaxed, that creativity gets blocked.
Yeah,
Those of
absolutely.
us
And you
know.
want them to be
As
comfortable.
creatives, we know when we're not in a certain mode or environment. Um,
Hmm.
and so what Rhonda Edelin wants to know, would you ever do an autobiography? Would you do a memoir or
Oh, yes, that's probably the last thing that I'll do. That's probably
Ooh,
the last thing that I'll do, because there are a lot of people. I was talking to somebody the other day. Everybody knows LaFace going forward. They don't know pre-LaFace. They don't know what occurred before LaFace Records happened.
mhm.
And we were in Los Angeles for 6 years struggling, trying to make this thing happen. And people don't know that story. So
So
I
is
want to
that
be
when
able
you
to
all were
tell
with the
that
deal?
story.
Was that around the time
A part of it
the
was with the
deal?
deal, but a bigger part of it was LA, Kenny and I staying in California, trying to peddle songs, trying to write songs and peddle songs, and staying in an apartment. And I was sleeping on the floor with the equipment. And, they'd be like, hey, get up. James Ingram's coming by. Hey, wake up. Paula Abdul's coming by. Hey, wake up. This guy named Johnny Gill's coming by. Karen White's coming by. And people were coming by the apartment to listen to these songs that we were writing.
How did you all connect with them? Were you all like,
Somebody told them about us.
okay. And they
We
just came and found
had
you.
some yeah, it kept building and building until eventually, once LA and Kenny did Rock Steady, that just knocked the door down. It totally knocked the door down, and it was just the floodgates opened after that. It was actually crazy. I mean, people used to say, "How are you guys doing all this work?" And we literally had a machine. I mean, Kenny and I may be at the house writing. LA may be at the studio. LA and Kenny may be at the studio. I may be at the house writing.
Hmm.
They send me to the studio. Go down there and work with the boys. Do Dial My Heart with the boys. And we're going over here with this girl named Pebbles. Like,
Oh
okay.
my gosh.
And then
Yes.
they say, okay, go down here with Paula Abdul and do knocked out vocals and show her how it goes. And we're going to go over here and get started with Karen. I'm like, okay. So we would have 2 to 3 studios, and we just rotated. We just rotated. And one day we were at this studio called Silver Lake, and they said, this kid, Bobby Brown, just got kicked out of New Edition.
Oh my
He's
God.
going to come by. He's going to come by the studio. And we were like, okay. So in walks this kid. It's his birthday. He's 21 years old, and he's just full of energy. He's just bouncing off the walls. And I said, wow. And I remember when he left, I said, that kid will never live to be 30. I
Ooh.
said, that kid is crazy. But we took that energy that he had and like wrote for that energy. You know what I mean? Like nobody could have sung Don't Be Cruel because Bobby was
Listen,
cruel.
and
He was mean.
Ronnie was didn't even that was Ronnie to this day is just that
Yeah,
magic.
that was an old song that
Um,
Kenny had written about a really really young girl in Florida, and we called her Roni. And that's a song that Kenny had penned years ago. And Bobby, it was perfect for Bobby,
yes, it
and he's
was.
and he sung the hell out of everything.
Yes,
Rock
he
with you.
did.
He was Bobby's amazing.
Oh my
His
God.
energy. So we just took the energy and just said, okay, let's put it into his songs, on our own, Don't Be Cruel. And then Teddy did the same thing with My Prerogative, which was great. And the next thing you know, that thing was crazy. It just went out of control. But that was Bobby's energy, Bobby's attitude. And I tell people, Bobby was not a great singer by any stretch. He wasn't a great singer.
But
But
he can
thank you.
perform his ass
He
off.
could perform his
He's
ass off,
an
and he
entertainer
could,
for sure.
right, and he could perform those songs
Yep.
on record. And a
Yep.
lot of times we'd be like, well, it's a little sharp, but you know what? He sang the hell out of it. Let's keep it. What the
Right.
hell?
It's the
Because
passionate
it was,
energy
yes,
in
a
it.
passionate and energy
Yes.
that he gave it. And once again, the marriage of what Bobby brought to the songs, that's what we call the magic. That's the part you can't predict. And that one blew me away. When that happened, I was blown away at Don't Be Cruel album. That was really
Listen,
crazy.
it's probably his top selling, right? I mean, I would
I
have to
don't
check
know for a
numbers, but
fact, but it could
that
be, but I don't know for a
it's a push
fact. But
play.
it was. And then we were on vacation in Hawaii, and they said, "Hey, Bobby's in Honolulu. He's doing a show. Let's go see him." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I forget where we were, Maui or somewhere. So we flew to Honolulu, and I'll never forget standing on the side of the stage, and the whole stadium was packed. And he started singing Rock With You. And you could not hear Bobby singing it. You couldn't hear him singing it because the
Listen,
crowd was singing it.
I
And
bet.
for me, as a songwriter, that's my payday. To think that this whole crowd is singing a lyric that I wrote and the whole audience is singing it. That's my payday. That's what I get,
Yes.
And so that blew me away because I had never heard one of our songs being sung by that many people like that in a stadium. And it was that to me is what I get as a songwriter. That's the fulfillment that I get.
That is
You
okay.
know,
I'm just, oh my Lord, I'm just having a moment. I wish I could just come to your house right now, Daryl. I know you got so many stories because
it's a
I
lot.
have
It's a
to ask
lot.
you, and
It's
I'm
a
being
lot.
a little selfish tonight, y'all. I gotta ask
It's a lot of
about
stories.
one of my absolute faves, Queen of the Night, Whitney Houston. That's another one. The energy. Like, what was it like working with Whitney? Like, she is one of those artists. There will never be anyone like her, ever, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
that was.
She's one of those.
Um,
Just like
uh,
Bobby Brown, he's another artist. They're
yeah,
never the energy,
yeah,
what they bring to the song.
yeah, absolutely.
And Whitney
That.
can sing too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Ironically, for the movie, Kevin Costner had a title, and we don't work from titles. He had a title, Queen of the Night, and that's what stumped us in the beginning. It actually took a minute to get it because we were like, well, we don't write from titles. We let the music tell us what the title is. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? By the melody, just like dun dun dun. Okay, what's it saying? It's saying, "Can we talk?" That's what it's
right.
saying.
So
So
wait a
here's
minute,
somebody
Kevin
who
just
gave
came to
us
y'all
a
and said, "I
title,
want y'all to write a song with this title."
right? Queen of the Night. Yeah, and we were like, oh,
Mhm.
that's not what we do. So really, it was kind of Whitney who came in on it to really, because she wrote it with us, to
Mhm.
really pulled it together.
Make it
You
pop.
know, to
We and
make it
it won
pop, to
a Grammy,
make it
another Grammy winner, by the way.
because it had to be it was a rock kind of thing, and we're R&B. So I
Right,
remember I
right.
remember I think Kenny had a white guy come in. Either he can't I think he may have come and sang backgrounds with us, and then maybe had a rock guitar guy. I don't know if Kenny did the guitar. I can't remember if he got so he said, no, it's got to be rock. It's like we do R&B. So it was in the beginning it was like a difficult thing, but at the end of the day, it I think it came together because Whitney
Mm,
was there and she worked on it with us. And I wasn't sure about that song, but what sold me on it was when I saw it in the movie, when she
yeah.
performed it with the whole costume,
And the
being the artist that she was. I said, okay, yeah, it worked. Because
yeah.
I personally wasn't sure, you know. But when I saw it and felt it, the way they used it, and her being Rachel and performing it
Right.
as a rock star, I said, okay, yeah,
She
yep,
did it. She did.
she did it. She did her thing. She
So
did her thing.
what are some of your favorites, Daryl? Let's
Favorite
talk about some of your
songs?
favorites. Yes, yes, yes.
I have
Favorites
a
you wanna
few
work
for
with or
different.
whatever. Just
I
some of your
have
favorites.
I
Yeah.
have favorite songs for different reasons. I love my favorite song is "You Mean the World to Me" because
Oh,
of I love the music that Kenny created and the melody, but I also love the way Tony performed it. And it was her innocence. It was the beginning of Tony, and it's when she just kind of. It's like she didn't know. She was
uh-huh,
just.
uh-huh.
You know how you don't know
Because
nothing. You
I'm in
just.
love with you, that you mean the world to me.
You know.
Right, right. You
It
mean
was just. It was just.
everything, right?
Yeah. It was just such a
That's the only
pure.
thing that matters, right?
Not that her other
Right.
performances aren't great, but I think in the beginning it was just something that was pure about it. And altogether, the sound of it and Tony's performance. So that's my favorite song. But I have other favorite songs. Uh, One of my favorite songs is a song called "Love Saw It" that Kenny and Karen
Yes.
White did.
Oh my God. Yes.
That
I
doesn't
wanna
it
wait a minute, did
doesn't
you
get a
also
lot
do
of
Always
play.
with Pebbles, him and Pebbles?
I'm
Did you
sorry.
did you also do Always with Babyface and
No,
Pebbles? No.
no, I
Okay.
didn't. I
But yes,
wasn't a
Love
writer on
Saw
that.
It, that is another
Love
B-side
Saw It.
that
Yeah,
was it
a
was on
great
the
B
radio, but
side.
not as much as it
Not yeah, not
could.
as
Yes.
yeah, but I love the
Yes.
way the duet, the way they did that together.
Mhm.
It was just I thought
It's
it
like
was
their voices
such a
were chasing
wonderful
after
song.
each other, like they was
Yes,
I
yes,
was like, "Oh my
yes. And
gosh."
Karen was great at emulating Kenny. If Kenny told her to do something, she could do it to the T. And that's why they worked so well, because she understood that melody and rhythm that Kenny would give her. And that's one of my favorite songs is Love Saw It. The way it sounds, the
Yeah.
mood of it when it comes on, uh, the way just the way they sing it at the end when they go back and
Me
forth.
joy, me joy, me joy, you bring me joy,
Yeah,
me
all
joy,
that. So
me joy.
all that. So that's the good
Keep
stuff.
on
That's
giving
all that.
me,
Yep,
keep on giving me
all
joy.
that sauce. That's what I call the
Listen, y'all,
sauce.
he about to
You
have me
know.
up in here.
Yeah.
I
So
had
that's
to
one of my
taste
favorite
Lord.
songs.
Ooh,
Monica, Why I Love You So Much is one of my favorites because
Mhm.
it's the first thing I did by myself outside of LA and Kenny.
Oh,
And I didn't know if I could do it by myself. And Dallas Austin called me. His studio was next door to my studio. He goes, "Hey, you got something for Monica?" And I'm going, no, but I'll get one.
exactly.
And I actually had these little chords on the piano probably for a year. And I think I crafted that song in about an hour.
Baby,
And
mhm.
it's very elementary, very simple. And Monica, once again, a very innocent performance. I think she was 15 at the time. And I thought the song and the lyric fit her. Like you said, she was innocent. She wasn't talking about having
Right. You
sex.
don't make me rush or do too much. One day
Right.
we're gonna talk
And it
about
was a
love.
hit. It was
One day we're gonna talk about making love, no doubt. Yeah.
yeah, and it
Mhm.
was my first hit by myself. And so that for several reasons, just because I didn't, and it gave me a lot of confidence because had been a writing partner for years. And so when everybody went their separate ways, I was like, man, well, I got to at least try to see if I can do it. And so
Mm.
that really gave me the stamp. It's like, okay, I'll be okay. I know what I'm doing. So that for that reason. But then I have other favorite songs. I love Rock With You. I love My.
Yeah.
Uh, Johnny just was so incredible. Here was this young kid with a grown man voice,
Right.
and once again, the match of My and Johnny was so perfect that But I have there's so many songs for different reasons. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But those are some of my favorites. SWV, of course. You know,
Listen, what other SWV besides "You Are My Love" have you done, Daryl?
that's it.
That's it?
That's
Well,
it.
okay, let's talk about TLC, right? Because we cannot. We gotta mention they pretty much are the top selling female group of all time ever. TLC.
Okay. I didn't know. Is it them or
One
Destiny's
of
Child? I don't know.
one of they in the top three.
Okay, yeah.
I think I
I
looked
wasn't
this
sure.
up.
Did
We
you? Okay, I'm
double
not sure.
check, but they in the top three.
Oh
If
yeah,
it, it,
yeah,
they,
yeah,
if it's Destiny's Child, they
yeah,
TLC is right
yeah.
there
I
under
think they're
them.
together. Yeah, great, great. It was fun. A lot of fun. That's
That's
all. When people say TLC, I go, it was just fun. That's all I can tell you. It was a comedy show.
you
The
did. So it was on
sessions.
Fan Mail. Were you on Crazy
I
Sexy
was
Cool
on,
either? Or, oh, but
baby,
you
baby,
did
baby.
baby. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, not
Uh,
that.
and
You
then
know
on fan mail. I can't remember the name of the song,
that.
but
Okay. But baby
uh,
to this
yeah.
day, 30. Let me listeners, please, y'all. Baby is 31 years old. I just want to remind folks.
Really? Damn. God,
92.
you crazy. That's crazy. 92? Dang, my son was born in 92.
You
Dang.
y'all Google it. Listen.
Wow.
I,
Okay.
and that's why it blows my mind. I said he did
Yeah.
baby. Like I
Fun. It
was
was all I think of TLC, fun, stupid, funny. The sessions, my face would be hurting. Those girls were just straight comedians, clowns, Three Stooges. I mean, we couldn't hardly get through sessions because they kept us laughing all the time. And it was just so much fun. They were just like, family, like our daughters. It wasn't work at all. We just get in there and just
mm. Oh, was
it
this
just
a
was
hands up? I think this is probably it.
hands up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hands
Hands
up,
up. Mm-hmm.
hands up.
Yep.
And I miss you
Yep.
so much. I don't know if that was
And
on.
Kenny did Red Light Special, which is a great song.
Oh my gosh, that's
I
another
love Red Light Special. I love that record. That's a good record Kenny did. But they were fun. They were just too much fun. That's all I can tell you. It just was, and that's how it should be. Music should be fun.
right. And I
It
can
can't
tell
seem like
you've
work.
enjoyed what you've done, and you've had a fulfilling and storied career. And I again, Daryl, I just want to thank you for your time. Thank
Oh
you
yeah, thank you guys for
for
having me. Yeah, I
blessing my
appreciate it.
platform. I know the viewers enjoyed it. Thank you to everyone who watched. And I just
Yeah,
really
thank you guys. I appreciate it.
appreciate you
Yeah.
for taking time because you are an icon
Ooh.
in my eyes. I know because I remember seeing you go up on stage to get the grant to collect the Grammys with Babyface and them, and I always wondered like, who is that other guy? And then when I saw you on Soul TV, I think it was Soul TV
hmm
last year on I forgot IRTS show.
Yeah, I
Um
don't know what it was.
it was one of those shows, but I was like, I have got to have him on. So I really appreciate you
Cool.
and
I appreciate it. I
celebrating
appreciate you having
Black
me on
Music Month and just
and
um,
loving the music. I appreciate that.
uh, listen, I couldn't. My mother had a music room. I'm gonna tell you, my mother had a hi-fi stereo. Now I'm sure you remember this. You old enough to remember the hi-fi
I'm old enough.
stereo
Trust me, I'm old
that
enough.
that
Yep.
held 5 records at a time, right? And it would
They just
drop
drop
one
down.
down
They
with the
drop
arm.
down. That's
Listen,
right.
I come
That's
from
old
that.
school. That's real old
My
school.
mother had this, and we had a
Yep.
music
My
room, and
mother did too.
she had the T tags on the walls and the black light
Hmm.
posters. And this is when we were reading the album covers. And so
Yep. I read the album covers.
listen, the liner, I was
Yeah.
about the liner notes. So,
I
um,
that's how I wanted to become a songwriter. I said, what does the right I see the Jackson Five, but what are these names underneath? Who's the corporation? Who's Clifton
right,
Davis? So I was intrigued about how do you get the song to the artist and what does a producer do? So I would see these
right,
credits and go, I was just really intrigued by the process of it. So like you, I
right,
would read all these liner notes about how they put this together. You know,
right,
Marvin Gaye used these people and Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's like, oh, it's so many of them. How are they making any money? It's like 9 of these dudes. And then found out that Maurice White was writing this music and producing it. And I became such a big fan. And Maurice was a big influence of mine because he put all
right.
this great stuff together. And then I went to see them and it was over. Once I saw them,
Right.
I
I
was like, oh
mean,
my God, these guys are
and to
incredible.
this day, they are still. You can't tell me
Oh,
you can't have a barbecue. And by the way, happy Father's Day to you, Daryl.
okay, cool. Thank you.
Father's Day
Thank
is
you.
this weekend,
Yeah,
and
this
we're having a
weekend.
barbecue
Absolutely.
at my house.
Oh,
I wish you
cool.
could come to the barbecue when you're in Detroit though. Next time, feel
Oh,
free
you
to
got it.
stop by.
You got it.
You can't have a barbecue without Earth, Wind, and Fire, Maze, Frankie Beverly,
No,
or
yeah, absolutely.
Jones, or
Just
like I said again, Babyface or Babyface, Bobby Brown. The Deal. We still play Occasions in Sweet November. Okay,
those are
that's
good
still on
records.
my
That's
playlist.
one of my favorite
This
records.
day, Sweet November.
One of my favorite records of Kenny's is called "Where Will You Go."
Oh my gosh, yes. And
Play
who
that. That
gonna
song. Well, that
love
song you have to get your
like
tissue box out if
where
you
he's
hear
like,
that.
where will you go? I know
Yes,
what you're talking
yeah.
about.
He sang the
Absolutely.
he sang
Yes,
the
he did.
smack doo doo out of that song. That's one of my favorite songs.
Yes, the
One of
end
those
right.
songs that was kind of like people
Love
don't
you
know.
like I do. Down, 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 down. Yeah, listen.
Boy,
Okay, we
yeah.
got see. You done got me
We
started.
could keep going. It's so many
Oh
songs
my
that I'm
gosh.
thinking of now. Even when you said that, where will you go? Never keeping secrets.
Yes. If you
It's so
sunshine.
many. It's a
Yes.
lot. It's a lot of
Yes.
songs that weren't
And the
like big
lover
big
even
hits.
still.
That you know,
Yeah.
it's a lot of songs.
Another one that I love, Stone Cold Gentleman.
Ralph,
That
yeah, I did that
now
with Ralph.
that
That was
album,
fun.
that whole
Yeah,
album, but
yeah, yeah. I did that with
do what I
Ko.
gotta do.
Ko was in the deal. Ko and I did that together.
Oh my gosh. Did you
Did
just do
Ralph
that song or
Tresvant.
did you do others on the album of Stone Cold
We
Gentleman?
did Stone Cold Gentleman, and then I think we did a ballad. I
Okay,
think we
because
did
I love
a
do
ballad
was it
on
do what
there.
I gotta do? Do what I
I
gotta
can't remember. I know
Okay.
Stone Cold Gentleman. Then we did a ballad, and of course Jim and Terry had the hit with Sensitivity, which was
Yeah.
a
Oh
a
my
great
gosh.
song. Yeah.
Listen.
So, but
Whew,
yeah, that was a good record. Ralph, that was some good songs. That was fun
yeah.
working with Ralph. Yeah, a lot of songs, like you said, that weren't big hits, but
That's I
were
have
were
like
good
a
songs.
that's a big
There's a lot. There's so many.
and
Sometimes
just
I'll get my
saying.
royalty statement, and my royalty statement is like a book, and I'll go through the book, and I'll be like, I don't even know what that song is. I mean, really, I'll be like, what the hell song is that? But
But
it'll be a song that was on an album that wasn't a hit that we wrote, but I don't even remember it.
and now someone maybe sampled it or they're playing it somewhere or licensed it
Hey,
or
my son pulled up a song on Destiny's Child album called "Stay" that I wrote.
listen.
And he goes, I didn't know you wrote a song. I go, you know what, DJ? I said, I don't even remember writing that, but I
That's
wrote
how
it,
magnificent you are. Oh my gosh.
and I was like, okay, it wasn't a big record, a good record, but I said, okay, I know I wrote it, but I don't remember you know what I mean?
Right,
Anyway,
absolutely.
there's a lot of music. There's a
I
lot of music
know, and I
that we
wish we
did.
could be on here more time, and I truly
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Oh yeah, I'll come
To
back. We'll
everyone
go
who's
through some
watching,
old songs.
listen, and
That'll be
if
cool.
whenever you are in Detroit, please, because India. I don't know if you live in Indianapolis now still, but
No, I live in Atlanta. I haven't been in Indianapolis
oh,
since
Atlanta. Well,
80.
okay,
I left Indianapolis in 83,
okay, well,
82.
maybe I can look you up when I'm in Atlanta because my daughter goes to Spelman.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
My sister lives. I have a lot of family down in Atlanta. My sister lives down there,
Okay.
so I'll definitely look you
Yeah.
up and we'll
Let Renee know when you're coming.
absolutely. And shout out to her,
Absolutely.
to
Oh
my
yeah,
fellow
she's good.
Detroiter
That's my
again.
girl.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you so much, Daryl. And
Thank
let's
you.
just say, see you next time. I
See you next
definitely
time.
please let me know if it's any way I can support. Reach out, because I'm a multimedia storyteller. I write and edit.
Okay. Yeah, we got,
To
working on some other things that are not necessarily
oh,
musical. So we'll let you know. We'll keep you in the
absolutely.
loop.
Well, you
Okay.
enjoy the rest of this week. Enjoy Father's Day and take
You
care of
too.
you.
Thank
All
you.
right,
And
best.
thank you guys. Okay. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Lord, y'all have a good night. See you next time on Rockets Reality. Thanks for watching.